Welcome to a special Stick to Hockey Live with Jason Martinez as we get set for the home opener tomorrow. A couple things to discuss in this episode. Man, I look like shit. 4 road games, 10 p.m. starts. Flyers After Dark has weathered this old man. Thank God there's only one more 10 o'clock game this season. That's January 2nd. When the Flyers will take on the Vegas Golden Knights. You go, well, wait a minute. You always get San Jose in December or January in that godforsaken 10:30 puck drop at the Shark Tank. No. How about this? San Jose is actually on New Year's Eve, but the game's at 8 o'clock local time on New Year's Eve. So that's pretty cool. Thank God we don't have to go through that San Jose 10:30 puck drop. But Flyers come back from the trip, season opening 4-game road trip with a record of 1-2-1. Last night, had they been able to win that game last night, it would have been a very successful trip. It's a tough trip to start the season. Going all the way out to BC, back to Alberta for 2, and then back out to Seattle for the final game. But that was not to be, as the Flyers fell against the Seattle Kraken 6-4. Shootout win over Vancouver, 5-3 loss against Calgary in regulation, obviously. The overtime loss against the Edmonton Oilers, and also the 6-4 loss last night against the Seattle Kraken. Again, doesn't mean the season's over. We're not going to get crazy here. It's just 4 games in. There's a lot of things to work on. Sloppy hockey, always at the beginning of a year. You always see sloppy hockey. And there was a lot of sloppy hockey with the Flyers road trip, both by them and from their opponents. You see it all over the league this time of year. Officiating is called a little different in the beginning of every season. The refs seem to call every micro infraction, if you will. That kind of calms back down, and that finds its water level as the season goes on. But all said and done, it's a 1-2-1 record. And the Seattle game in particular, and we're going to go through some of the highlights with some commentary. The way they started, I thought, was great. Last game of a road trip, you wonder if the team's going to have energy. Are they going to come out and play the right way? You know, they know they're going home after that game. It turned out to be today when they came home. But how are they going to handle it? How are they going to get out of the gate? They got out of the gate good. I thought they really controlled things in the first period and came out of the first period up 2-1 in the game despite giving up a bad goal when Seattle tied it. But they're able to carry a lead through one. Then in the second period, I thought they played decent for portions of the second period. Game was tied, and then all of a sudden Seattle, in a 3-minute basic stretch, Seattle blew the game wide open. And that was really... That 3 minutes was what sealed the Flyers' fate, giving up 3 goals and getting down 5-2 heading into the third. Big question would be, would they tuck tail and just get out of there, or would they try and battle back in the third period? During the intermission, I was talking to Brian Smith, and he asked me what I wanted to see in the third period, and I said this was an opportunity for a team early in a season to establish some markers of identity, to be able to come out in that third period despite the fact that they're down 5-2. How are they going to react? Are they going to come out and they're going to try and push, with a good identity, a positive identity, or were they going to just fold and kind of go away, fade out in the game and look forward to the home opener? They battled. They got within 1. And then a mistake got them down by 2 again, 6-4. So let's go through some of the highlights, lowlights is actually how I termed it when I saved this file. When we go through these, I want to look at some of the goals that Ivan Fedotov gave up as well. Also, a couple of the goals for the Flyers. And there was a goal initially during the broadcast last night that I thought was a bad goal by Fedotov, but upon further review, I have a different take on it based by looking at the video. All right, so let's get into it. The first goal of the game, it comes off the stick of Scott Laughton. It's a play into the Seattle zone, real simple, pass to Poehling, one-time shot, misses the net. Scott Laughton with the wraparound goal. Scott Laughton good at the wraparound goal. So you see here, Laughton just a one-touch pass to Poehling, boom. Laughton with the wraparound. But if you go back, you look here, Poehling's got the shot, and look where Grubauer is. He is so out of position because he lost his net. He's trying to play goaltender on the end boards, and there's no way he's going to get back. He's trying desperately. But Laughton with a good wraparound goal, and the Flyers go up 1-0 in the game. Then later in the first period, this is where Seattle gets it tied. Brandon Montour, point shot goal. And this is one that I don't like. And you can tell that the other guy that didn't like it is big number 82 there, Ivan Fedotov. One of the things I've talked about with Fedotov is dealing with traffic in the NHL. And here's Montour winding up. Okay, you see where he's wound up there. And where's Fedotov? Where's he looking? He's looking over the screen. You have the Seattle player there tangled with the Flyers player. And he's upright. His head is way high. His chest is up. Stick is way up in the air. And in this situation, you want to be looking around the screen, in particular to that short side, where he's actually showing a good amount of net. Why the short side? First of all, that's the shortest distance for the puck to get to the back of the net. And you can switch when the short side evaporates, as you'll see it does here. It evaporates. He comes to the long side, but he's still not down looking around it. He's still semi-upright. And that puck, he's unable to get all the way down into the butterfly and seal the bottom third. 5 holes open, and it squeezes through. And here's a good look at it as well. Again, chest up. He's looking over the screen. And there's just no way you're going to be able to get down. Montour's wound up here. He knows the shot's coming, and he's still up. That's part of the problem. You got to look around that screen for the goaltender. He's a big guy, 6'7". He can look over a lot, but it's not easy to kind of take away the bottom third of the net when your chest and your head are that far high. It's just a really tough situation. You see it beats in there right through the 5 hole, and that gets Seattle on the board. And now all of a sudden you got a tie hockey game. Another look at it here. And, I mean, traffic will do that. That's why traffic's good. Even if the player doesn't tip it, even if the player doesn't deflect or get a rebound there, they create havoc. And having an offensive player there usually drags the defender as well. So it's basically a 2-player screen for the goalie. So Flyers are tied 1-1 here. And here's Scott Laughton, just absolute beauty of a snipe. And Grubauer here is just not on the post, sealing the top part of the net. A little bit flat as well. But if you look at this, okay, why is the goal scored? Why is he leaning a little bit to the middle of the net? As Laughton comes down on the sharp angle, look at Garnet Hathaway trying to make himself an option. And Grubauer's aware of that. So he starts to lean off his post a little bit there. And boom, Laughton goes right up under the porch. Grubauer should be probably a little bit more on an angle there as well. But you see, just an absolute beautiful shot by Scott Laughton. Flyers go up 2-1, so you're headed to the second period. But real good job by Garnet Hathaway to make himself an option there and affect the play. All right, here's the goal that puts Seattle, or ties the game for Seattle. It's the 2-2 goal by Jared McCann. Power play goal. And this one is one that I didn't like when I saw it initially. Here it is, kind of the behind the scenes. And the thing I didn't like, I see Fedotov kind of drifting backwards in his net. So if we go back here, you can see he's kind of fading backwards. As the shot's coming off, fading back towards his goal line. But the thing is why is he fading backwards? Well, I don't have a problem with it now. Because you got number 7 there, right on the right side on the post. He's got to fade backwards if that pass is to go to the Seattle forward right on the side of the net. He's got a less distance to travel if that pass does happen there. And usually on power plays, you see that pass quite a bit. All right, here's the goal that puts Seattle up 3-2 in the game, 5:03 to go in the second period. And this is just a bad rebound. Puck comes through. Fedotov, his depth is fine. He's square. Just kind of butchers it a little bit. Puck hits him, dribbles off, and he goes into desperation mode. Boom, rebound goal. And now Seattle is up in the game. See it there once again. Here's where you can really tell how he kind of butchers it. You see here, the puck actually hits him more on the left side of his body, yet the rebound goes out to the right side. He's got to just vacuum that puck up. He's got to absorb that puck. So now Seattle's up 4-2. There was a goal in between there. It was that backdoor tap in. We didn't show it. And 8 seconds after that, it comes this goal by the Seattle. I think it's Shane Wright that scores this one. Into the zone they go. Boom. And it's in the back of the net. Now, this isn't on Fedotov. This is on Yegor Zamula. So here's the faceoff. Flyers win the draw. Farabee back to Zamula. You got a winger there. It looks like, to me, either Tyson Forster or Owen Tippett. I think it's Tyson Forster, yeah. Curling to go up the left side of the ice. And Zamula comes across the ice, and that pass gets picked off. And then he challenges up on the Seattle player. And it leaves Shane Wright in to go in for the goal. And 5-2 is the score. Nothing Fedotov can do here. But Zamula you cannot make that pass. Again, let's go back to they win the draw, and he makes the pass. It's intercepted, and then he challenges up on the Seattle player. I'll give you the whole thing in real speed. Draw one, back to Zamula. He needs to just chip up the left boards. Intercepted, now he challenges up. Now you got two guys going down that right side, and it's in the back of your net. Not Zamula's finest moment there, especially in that situation. Down 4-2, there's no reason to take that risk in the neutral zone. And then here's the breakaway goal, which rounded out the scoring. And that made it 6-4 after the Flyers got within a goal. Jamie Drysdale got a power play goal to get it within one. Cam York scored as well. But, why? Why there does Jamie Drysdale pinch? Why? So go back to it in the beginning. At first glance, I thought this was a goal where I thought Cam York should have read the play and moved high into the middle. But if you look, before Cam York's at the bottom of the screen there. He had already activated down the left side. It becomes the weak side. Now the puck is coming up the boards. There's no other Flyer player there. And Drysdale, with a football field to get there, decides to challenge the exit with a player on his side of the ice leaking behind him now. This is an incredibly high-risk play. Drysdale doesn't get there. And then you see the puck gets put up. And now he's in on the breakaway. And because Cam York was deep in the zone already, and Drysdale decided to pinch, you got the breakaway. And then you got the goal. Can't do that. Can't do that. Drysdale in that situation just got to defend. That's the situational hockey thing that Torts talks about a little bit. In that situation, you've got a lot of momentum. You just got within a goal after being down 3. You don't incur that risk as Bjorkstrand gets the goal. And that's one of those plays, a read, and that you can't have happen. In the Hockey and Hounds that came out, I think yesterday, you got to go check it out because it's one of the things John Tortorella talked about in regards to Jamie Drysdale. He's got so much to learn about how to play in this league because he was kind of rushed in Anaheim, and situational hockey is a big thing for him. It was just not a good decision, and that's a big goal because now the Flyers are down 2 again, and it's lights out. Had that not happened and you're within a goal, you still got 5 minutes to go in the game, they had a chance to get that thing tied, grab a point or maybe 2. And that just deflates all the momentum out of the team. And that's the one last thing on that. Cam York doesn't play with Jamie Drysdale very often. That's why that consistency in partner really matters. Drysdale needed to recognize that York was already well inside the Seattle zone and not take a chance on a pinch there because he doesn't have a D-man backing up out of the zone into the middle when he takes that chance. And if he doesn't get there like he didn't, and he had a ton of room to go to get there, really wasn't even close, then you've got a breakaway the other way. Seattle opens up a 2-goal lead once again. That's it. That's a catastrophic play. John Tortorella said that, I said to John Tortorella, they're doing a lot. And Torts was excited about being able to coach Jamie Drysdale, who he kind of lumped in with the teenagers, with Lachenko and Mishkov, as guys that he's got to teach a lot of the game to, that the coaching staff needs to teach. And I said, kind of like a lump of clay that you want to mold into something. There's a lot of work to be done with Jamie Drysdale. He's got a lot of raw skills, but there's a lot of work to be done. And obviously nothing's a guarantee. So the Flyers go down 6-4. Home opener coming up tomorrow. And we'll see how that goes when they face the Vancouver Canucks once again. Vancouver going to be a little angry. They lost to the Flyers in the shootout in the Flyers opener, their second game of the year. So it should be a great atmosphere down there tomorrow. Hope to see you at the barn for the first of 41 at Wells Fargo Center. All right, that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want more of that kind of stuff, let me know. If you don't, then too bad. We're probably still going to do it. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you very soon. Cheers.